steely at home, because it's a lot when you're dealing with, playing these characters, because it's very spiritual what we do as actors. You're on the set, you have your chakras all open, you're allowing this character to use your body as a vessel. And so you have to learn how to flip the switch on and flip it off. Otherwise, it could drive you mad.
So there you go. Taraji P. Henson is talking about how she got into the Shug Avery character, and not just that character, but any character that she plays. So Taraji P. Henson, for those of you who don't know, is a famous actress. She's been in Empire and a number of other movies. And so she's on this press junket talking about The Color Purple, and she plays Shug Avery in the remake of The Color Purple. And so she's been talking about how this is spiritual, how they get into character to enable the character to flow and to work through them.
I literally wanted to be there for comedic relief in between the takes. You know what I mean? Because it's spiritual what we do. You understand?
Yeah.
We allow these characters and these stories to use our bodies as a vessel. That is a real, like, if you think about it, that's you allowing this other energy, right?
So there you go. You hear about how she says they have this chakra, that they have to have these characters, embody them and use them as a vessel, and how it's spiritual. That is straight up demonic possession. What people don't understand about Hollywood, about these actors, is that they actually have to go through this process. She called it chakra, this process of them having to die to themselves, essentially, and become the character. It is allowing that character, which has been written by people that are probably demonic, that has some spiritual influence behind it. It's allowing that spirit to enter. You hear what she said, right? You hear what she said. She talked about these entities to control you. See, it sounds very familiar to what Beyonce says about Sasha Fierce, how she allows Sasha Fierce to come over and take over, and she'll know what she's doing. We have to be very, very careful when we go to these movies and we listen to these artists and these musicians, because a lot of times they are under demonic influence, and whatever they're playing and whatever movie they're in, that is influencing us, because we're open up. Because when you go to a movie, you're not protecting your spirit. You're opening your spirit to be entertained, and you're allowing all kind of influence to come upon you. So when you usually go see these movies and you come back acting a certain kind of way, sometimes you can't pinpoint why you're acting a certain kind of way. It's because you've opened yourself up, your eye gate, your ear gate, to things that have been demonically influenced, to people that have been demonically influenced. And you want to take my word for it? Take a former actor who talks about this.
Socrates in Actors on Acting, page 7, paragraph 8 says, "In like manner, the muse, first of all, inspires men herself." Now notice, muse is a person or a spirit. Because they are inspired and possessed, they are simply inspired to utter that which the muse impels them. For not by art or knowledge do you say what you say, but by possession. And many people don't realize that this art form involves possession and Masonic influences. Let's get into some of your roles and the experiences where that was invoked.
Well, I would say I had heard that from other actors. And I had heard them say, for instance, Denzel, when he was doing Malcolm X, I'd heard the quote from Spike Lee where he said, Denzel was gone. It was just Malcolm. Malcolm was speaking through him, and he didn't even need the script anymore. He would throw away the script, and it would just be Malcolm. And, for me personally, I had done a lot of Meisner. And one of the things with Meisner is you repeat the same thing, That was kind of my process.
So Meisner is a method of acting.
It's called the method, actually.
The method.
And it's a method where you are saying the words without trying to put any of your own will or interest into them. And then eventually, as you start to repeat them enough times, something spontaneous will come out that is seems natural.
Supernatural.
And so that was a process that I had learned early on to use as I was developing my lines. And it's funny that you said that, because even now I had never really thought of it, but I would go through and I would do my Meisner technique as I was prepping my scripts, and it would be like an inspiration. You'd see a line and all of a sudden I'd think, oh, I could say that like that, and it would things just came in unexpected ways when I would break down my script, and a lot of other actors that I would talk to would say, where do you get, how do you see that when you look at this thing? And I'd say, I don't know. I just,
You didn't
I
realize
have
you
my
were
process.
invoking a spirit.
And honestly, not only did I not even realize that, but I thought all the success and all of the things that were happening were blessings from God.
From God.
Because I'm going to church, I'm reading the Bible, and then I'm getting these like different ways of doing things that no one else even thinks of.
We have to be very, very vigilant and guard our spirits when we go to these movies, when we listen to this music, because we have to realize that the devil was the minister of music in heaven. The devil uses entertainment to get us distracted, to get us off track. So let's be very, very vigilant so that we don't become victims, because we are not victims. We are not victims. We are empowered for greatness.
Hey, I want to say, if you haven't done so already, please hit the like button and click subscribe so we can get this message out to as many people as we can to let them know that they're not victims, they are empowered for greatness.